Hey guys, I'm back with another candle review, and this time around it's for the 14.5 ounce 3-wick hot pink cocoa candle from the Candle Day collection. The notes on this read sweet ruby chocolate, whipped vanilla cream, and raspberry sprinkles. So this is probably my least favorite from all of them. Yeah, it's just so on cold, what you get is the raspberry is really strong, and it's like more of this pure, sweet, juicy, bright raspberry jam type of fragrance, but also kind of smells like raspberry candy too. But it's the most similar to like Pink Fairy Gumdrop, which is the same as that Candy Hearts fragrance. If you like the raspberry candy fragrance in those two candles, then this is pretty much that same type of sort of raspberry candy fragrance. It's kind of artificial, but sweet and, berry-ish. You get that first and foremost. And then you get maybe just a little bit of like a chocolate cocoa fragrance underneath it. But when you go to burn it, I do have to say the ratio kind of changes a little bit, and you definitely get more of that sort of like cocoa powder fragrance comes through when you're going to burn it. And the raspberry is a little bit more muddied and not so that sweet and bright as it was initially. But in any case, so once it's burning, what does it smell like? There's a good portion of, once again, that Pink Fairy Gumdrop fragrance. And it smells like it kind of has like a chalky fragrance to it. Kind of like I guess like the Candy Hearts type of like sweet tarts type of that type of like chalky raspberry candy fragrance is what you get. And you mix that sort of chalkiness with a even more like chalky, like cocoa powdery type of like cocoa packet cocoa fragrance to it. And it just comes off smelling kind of like a little bit stale and muddied. And then the chocolate is kind of nutty as well when you go to burn it. It's like heaps of a nuttiness that kind of reminds me of like the chocolate pistachio type of like nutty chocolate interaction, or even kind of has like that sort of like burnt popcorn type of feel. Like let's say the chocolate espresso martini almost had like this chocolate popcorn feel to it, where there's like this nuttiness mixed with like a chocolate cocoa fragrance that is then paired with that sort of Pink Fairy Gumdrop fragrance. And so I don't really enjoy Pink Fairy Gumdrop to begin with, so adding a like stale nutty sort of like popcorn kernel, like chocolate cocoa fragrance, isn't really improving this to my nose at all. That I'm just kind of like, ooh, okay. I mean, it's kind of there. If it had been a little bit more true to what it smelled like on cold, where the raspberry was a little bit more bright and juicy and wasn't so muddied by like this sort of stale cocoa note, I think I'd probably enjoy it a little bit more. But once it's burning, I just really don't like the interaction of the two type of fragrances, and it's a total one and done for me. So yeah, that's pretty much what hot pink cocoa smells like. If you want like a warmer, a little bit more cocoa driven Pink Fairy Gumdrop Candy Hearts fragrance, then check this out. And I think if you enjoy Pink Fairy Gumdrop or Candy Hearts, and you're like an enthusiast of that and you want all the variations of it, I would check this out. But if you're like me who just doesn't enjoy it and like also doesn't really need a weird stale cocoa enhanced version of it, total pass for me. I feel like chocolate rose macaron would have been so much more delicious and awesome than this, and that could have totally been like a hot pink cocoa fragrance. And to my nose, it is not at all the positively sweet dark chocolate truffles fragrance. I think it's just so much more well executed. The chocolate in that doesn't come off smelling stale. It smells more like a like actual chocolate candy or like a chocolate truffle. And the sort of cherry and nut note, even though this has like a raspberry and like a nuttiness to it, the cherry and the nuttiness in the truffle fragrance was just a little bit more better executed, blended well together. Overall, was a little bit more richer and creamier and not so like stale cocoa powder as this is. So I really don't think it's that fragrance. I think I still much prefer that over hot pink cocoa. But she exists. It's here. I guess it kind of smells like whatever a hot pink cocoa is supposed to smell like. So it does its job in terms of like what the name says. So it is what it is. Let me go into the performance. This one has the core wicks on it, usual hot burn, gets kind of steady after 3 hours. Make sure you keep on top of trimming it. Deep even wax pull in no time, the usual kit and caboodle. As for the throw, this is probably, this and the caramel frappuccino were the two stronger ones out of this bunch. And this one's like a good like 7 or 8 for sure. I have no problem smelling it. Sometimes I'm just like, whoa, that's a whole lot of this fragrance when I go into the room. So definitely in like the strong territory. The sort of like that sort of cocoa nutty popcorn ness just really carries this fragrance forward, and then these sort of sweet bright notes that follow after that. So yeah, you can definitely smell it and it definitely fills the room. So that's it for the performance on this candle. Overall for me, a total one and done, but if you like Pink Fairy Gumdrop or Candy Hearts and want all the variations, check this out. But for me, it's just kind of like artificial and just like kind of, I don't know, icky. That is just total one and done. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.